I never thought a simple family vacation would turn into the most humiliating and then satisfying moment of my life. We'd saved for months to treat ourselves tonight at this fancy beachfront resort, the kind with a rooftop lounge overlooking the ocean. My wife, our 2 kids, and I walked in wearing clean but basic clothes, jeans, nice shirts, nothing flashy because we're just a regular middle-class family. But the second we stepped toward the lounge entrance, this older woman in a designer's undress blocked our path, looked us U-pan down with pure disgust, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "This area is for members and guests who can naturally afford it. Your family looks too poor to be here." My heart sank instantly. My kids froze. My 10-year-old daughter's eyes filling with tears. My wife gripping my arm so hard it hurt. I felt every stare from the crowded lounge burning into us. People whispering, some smirking. I was about to turn around and leave, just swallow the embarrassment and protect my family when the woman, who everyone called Karen behind her back, doubled down. She waved over security like we were criminals and demanded they remove us before well over the tone of the place. I stood there speechless, face burning, trying to figure out how to shield my kids from this cruelty without making a bigger scene. The security guard approached, polite but firm, and asked to see our resort card. I handed it over with shaking hands, expecting the worst. He scanned it quickly, his expression changing in a split second. Karen stood there smirking, arms crossed, already celebrating her victory. Then the guard looked straight at her and said, "Ma'am, please step aside." She blinked, confused, thinking he was talking to us. But he wasn't. He turned back to me, suddenly super respectful, and said, "Sir, I apologize for the delay. Your family has full access right this way." Before I could even process it, another staff member appeared, smiling warmly, and started leading us past the velvet rope, past Karen's open-mouthed stare toward a private elevator. I hadn't even noticed before. Karen sputtered, "Wait, that can't be right. Look at them. They didn't belong." But the staff completely ignored her. As we walked away, I glanced back and saw her face turning red, demanding to speak to the manager, while people around her started pulling out their phones to record. My daughter tugged my sleeve and whispered, "Daddy, where are we going?" I honestly had no idea. All I knew was that something big was about to happen, and whatever car I'd handed over had just flipped everything upside down. The elevator doors closed, cutting off Karen shouting. The staff member pressed a button for the very top floor, smiled again, and said, "Welcome to the VI section. Your table is ready." My wife looked at me, eyes wide, mouthing, "What's going on?" I just shook my head, heart pounding, because I was about to find out how wrong Karen really was. And it all started with that little black card I'd almost forgotten I had in my wallet. The elevator opened onto a completely different world. Dim mood lighting, live jazz drifting through the air, plush leather booths overlooking an entire coastline lit up at night. A hostess greeted us by name, which freaked me out even more, and let us to a corner table marked reserved with a perfect view. My kids' jaws dropped. My wife kept squeezing my hand like she was dreaming. Champagne arrived before we even sat down. Complimentary, the server said with a wink. I finally pulled out my phone to check the resort app, trying to figure out what the hell was happening when I noticed the notifications. Dozens of messages from friends back home tagging me in videos that were already going viral. Downstairs, Karen had lost it completely. The clips showed her screaming at the security guard, demanding to see the manager, insisting there had to be some mistake, because those people couldn't possibly belong up there. She kept pointing toward the elevator, face getting redder by the second, while the crowd around her grew, phones out, recording every word. One guy even live-streamed it, captioning item titled Karen versus reality. But she didn't care. She was on a mission. She marched straight to the front desk, slapped her own membership card down, and told them to revoke whatever fraudulent access we'd somehow gotten. The manager came out, calm as anything, and quietly explained that our access was legitimate, higher tier. In fact, Karen laughed in his face, called him incompetent, threatened to have him fired. She started naming names, dropping that she was personal friends with the resort owner's wife, that she'd been coming here for 15 years, that people like us were ruining the exclusivity. When he still wouldn't budge, She switched tactics, went full victim mode, claiming we'd pushed past her, that her ankle was injured in the scuffle that never happened, even fake limb for the cameras. My phone buzzed again. A new video. Karen now standing in the middle of the lounge, voice echoing, announcing to everyone that management was letting charity cases invade the VIP section tonight. People started booing. Not us, her. A few guests defended us without knowing how we're, saying things like, "Maybe mind your own business, lady." Her face twisted. She looked around for allies and found none. That's when she spotted the general manager heading toward the private elevator with a clipboard. She bolted after him, heels clicking furiously, demanding he take her upstairs to confront us personally. Back in the VIP lounge, we were just starting to relax. Kids giggling over mocktails, MYY finally smiling when the hostess approached again, looking apologetic. "Sir, there's a guest downstairs insisting on speaking with you." She's quite upset. My stomach dropped. Part off wanted to hide, pretend we weren't there, let security handle it. But another part, the part still burning from the way she'd humiliated Mid-Otter, was done backing down. I told the hostess to let Karen come up. My wife stared at me like I'd lost my mind. "Are you sure?" She whispered. I nodded. It wanted to see how far this woman would actually go. Minutes later, the elevator dinged. Out stepped Karen, flanked by 2 staff members who looked ready to escort her right back down if needed. She scanned the room, spotted us immediately, and marched over like she owned the place. The jazz band even lowered their volume. Everyone sensed the drama. She stopped at our table, looked at the champagne bucket, the ocean view, my kids happily munching infancy appetizers, and sneered. "So you bribed someone, huh? How much did it cost to fake your way in here?" Mid-Otter shrank in her seat. My blood boiled. I stayed calm, barely. "Ma'am, we were invited up here by staff. Maybe you should ask them why." She ignored me, turned to the nearest server, and demanded they remove us immediately. The server glanced at me, then back at her, and politely said, "Ma'am, this family has Platinum Black Card access. You are currently in their reserved section." Karen froze. Platinum Black Card. She knew exactly what that meant. The highest tier. Invitation only. The kind celebrities and actual millionaires carried. Her eyes darted to me, really seeing me for first time, searching for any sign this was a joke. She opened her mouth, closed it, then tried one last power play. Pulled out her phone and started filming us, narrating loudly about fraud and stolen privileges for her social media followers. That's when a general manager finally appeared behind her, placed a gentle but firm hand on her shoulder, and said the words that made the entire lounge go silent, "Mrs. Thompson, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the VIP area. Your behavior is disturbing our most valued guests." The cameras caught every second of her face crumbling as security guided her back toward the elevator, her protests getting weaker with every step. It hot, that would be the end of it. It hot we'd won. But as the doors closed on her furious expression, my phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. "Enjoy it while it lasts. You have no idea who you just embarrassed." MY's smile faded because something told me Karen wasn't done, and whatever came next was going to be a lot worse than a public meltdown. The night should have ended on a high. My family laughing over dessert, the ocean sparkling below us, strangers coming over to congratulate use and handling that lady like champs. Videos of Karen's meltdown were everywhere now, racking up millions off views, comments flooding in, calling her the ultimate entitled Karen. I figured slink away in shame, maybe cancel her membership and never show her face again. But that text message kept nagging at me. Enjoy it while it lasts. The next morning, we woke up to chaos. Resort security knocked on our door at 8:00 a.m. looking uncomfortable. They said there had been a formal complaint filed overnight. Serious allegations, all fraud, identity theft, and even trespassing. Karen had apparently spent hours with management claiming my black card was stolen, that I wasn't a real car holder, demanding they call the police. My stomach twisted. We'd done nothing wrong, but the word police hit hard. My kids were right there listening. They escorted us to the manager's office. Karen was already there, sitting smugly with a folder off-printed screenshots, emails, and what looked like private account details. She didn't even look at my family. She just slid the folder across the desk and said, "This proves everything. That man is an imposter." The manager looked genuinely conflicted. He knew us from last night, but these documents looked official. My wife grabbed my hand under the table, terrified we were about to be humiliated all over again. I was a Buddha explaining to defend myself when the door opened and in walked an older gentleman in a perfectly tailored suit. Everyone stood up except Karen. The manager immediately greeted him as Mr. Harrington, the actual owner of the entire resort chain. Karen's face lit up. She started gushing about how long she'd known his wife, how loyal she'd been to the brand. Mr. Harrington didn't smile back. He walked straight to me and said loudly enough for the whole room to hear, "I'm sorry you and your family had to deal with this nonsense." I flew in his morning when I saw the videos. Then he turned to Karen, voice ice cold. "Mrs. Thompson, 15 years of membership doesn't give you the right to harass my guests, especially not my own nephew." The room went dead silent. Karen's mouth actually fell open. My wife gasped. Even I blinked in shock because, yeah, it was true. My late uncle, my mom's brother, had built this entire resort empire from nothing. He'd passed a few years ago, leaving me a trust and that platinum black card as a quiet inheritance. It never used it, never flaunted it. I didn't want special treatment. Didn't want to be that guy. We just booked a regular room like anyone else, and the card was only in my wallet for emergencies. Karen tried to speak, stammering excuses, but the manager cut her off. "Your membership is revoked effective immediately. Security will escort you off the property within the hour, and if I hear one more word about police or complaints, we'll be the ones filing for defamation and harassment." He then turned to the manager and added, "Comp the family's entire stay, upgrade them to the owner's suite for the rest of the week, and send up breakfast." Karen looked like she'd been slapped. No fake tears this time, just pure stunned defeat. As security let her out, she finally met my eyes. And for the first time, I saw a genuine regret mixed with embarrassment. She didn't say a word. We moved to the owner's suite that afternoon, an insane place with its own pool, butler service, the works. My kids ran around like they'd won the lottery. My wife kept laughing in disbelief, calling him secret rich kid, and teasing that it hid in superhero levels of wealth. But honestly, the money never mattered to home. What mattered was watching Mid-Otter hold her head high again, seeing strangers approach us not with judgment but with respect, and knowing that the woman who tried to make us feel small ended up exposing only herself. Sometimes life gives you the perfect comeback without you saying a word. And that week at the resort, it became the best vacation we ever had. Not because of the luxury, but because we walked in as a normal family and walked out knowing exactly who we were. Worth every second of that wild ride. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Every single subscription motivates me to bring you even more exciting and dramatic HOA stories. And don't forget to tap the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. I'll see you in the next story where justice gets even more satisfying.